Bitch, you guessed, oh my gosh. Hi, welcome. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are not new here, welcome. I am Brandy Knight Shanti Tekar, and cheers! Today we are going to talk about how to stay in your own lane and how to invite others to do the same. Cheersies. I'm drinking some warm water with fresh ginger. Yes. P.S. If you watched my anime video, anime con video, I got this. This is one of the finds. There's a hair. Where is it? Is it attached to me? Okay. Look how cute this is. Custom made. My favorite color. How to stay in your own lane. But real talk, let's do some self-psychology. You know, I love these self-psychology moments. How involved in other people's stuff are you? How much time and energy are you giving over to things that literally have nothing to do with you, or maybe very little to do with you? Real talk. Okay, so that doesn't really serve you living your best life. It acts as an energy drain and a distraction, and we do not want you to be distracted. We want you to be focused, sober, awake, aware. Yeah, and when I say sober, I'm not necessarily talking like, sans booze or whatever else. I mean just like awake with integrity and accountability. Real talk, real time. Here we go. That's what I mean. Yeah. All right. So I've been working with these statements for years and years and years for myself and with clients, and hands down, does it make a dent? So the first statement I'm going to go over with you is as such, and you could call it an affirmation, whatevs, all right? But the first one is this: how other people think and feel is not your responsibility. I'll say it again. How other people think and feel is not your responsibility. Let that sink in for a moment. That might take a weight off the shoulders. That might piss you off. Just be with it for a moment. How other people think and feel is not your responsibility. And it's not even your freaking business. Like, real talk. It's not even your business, okay? So when we kind of ride that slippery slope of people pleasing and contorting our behavior and manipulating ourselves in scenarios in order to elicit specific reactions from people in our life, or try to manipulate a specific outcome in like a low vibe kind of way, that's where these statements really come in clutch, okay? Because that is a low vibe way of running your scene, okay? That's the people please. That's manipulation. So now I know it's easier said than done, especially, as a parent, if you're in a romantic partnership, if you have a pressurized job experience, these statements that I would love to invite you to say to yourself. I would, this is like step one. We'll call it step two. Step one is like acknowledging like where you kind of lie, as far as, overextending your energy in other people's shit. Okay. All right. So how other people think and feel is not your responsibility or your business. It just isn't. Now, of course, if you have young children, that's a whole different conversation that I'm going to save for another time. I love to go into parenting and stuff like that, but this really is geared towards people that are doing the most, and it's draining, and it's causing pressure in relationships. Relationships are pressurized enough. We don't need to add it. We don't need to add this in there. Okay, so something that you can do, which is one of my favorite all-time things to do, in how to like apply the concept of how people think and feel is not my responsibility in your life, is this. Let's say you are in a conversation with someone, and the conversation is not a match for you, or you notice that maybe the person that you're talking to is a complainer. We've talked about complaining before. Or maybe they're complaining about something in their life, or maybe they are stepping out of their own lane and complaining to you about something that has nothing to do with them. All right. This is your time to say, boop, I'm going to go over there. It's not, boop, you need to stop talking about that. It's, boop, I'm going to pause and go over here. Knock yourself out if you want to keep talking about that or giving your energy to that. I'm just no longer going to join you. Okay. And then the walk away is vital because that's the particular piece, that mic drop moment and then peace out is this like pivotal piece to the puzzle of, okay, how other people think and feel is not my responsibility. Let them be wherever they are in their own response and reactivity to what it is that you just said and did. Because how they're responding to you putting yourself front and center in a high vibe way by saying, ooh, not a match, I'll be over here, right? That can people in the face, especially if they're spending so much time outside of their own fucking lane. All right. So by default, you're actually inviting them to stay in their own lane as well by witnessing you behave in a way that's like, this is me, how I stay in my own lane. I don't want to drain my energy by talking about something else that has nothing to do with me and then complaining about it. All right. So that's the first piece. The second piece is this: how how you think and feel is no one else's responsibility. How you think and feel is no one else's responsibility. Take a deep breath. How you think and feel is no one else's responsibility. How many of us are playing this fool's game of, if the person changed, I'd feel better. If the circumstance was different, I would feel better. If this shifted, if da 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 and da 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 da. Okay. Mm-mm. Hey, cheer. Hey, babe. Cheer. Kick. My producer burped off to the side. I know how easy it is to blame the outside for what you're experiencing. That is the life is happening to me victim mindset. And I am here to graciously and gracefully, hopefully, guide you by invitation and embodied leadership to get to the place of, oh, life's happening for me in accordance to how I'm focused on me. My relationship with me dictates my life. My relationship with me dictates my life. Your relationship with you dictates your life. And that is why how you feel is no one else's responsibility. What you think is no one else's responsibility. It's up to you to clean this shit up. And so the kind of the action step for this particular statement is very similar to the first one, where it's like, okay, if you find yourself in a space, in a place where people are doing stuff that you don't like, move out of that space, even if it's just long enough for you to break your focus, clean the energy, and then kind of regroup. Meaning, like, I know how I get clients all the time, like, I want to leave corporate, or I want to that my job's not working for me. And it's like, okay, I get it. However, I'm not interested in people leaning into wishful thinking. I really do like preparation. Like, let's get you prepared and set up for success before you make your move. I mean, that preparation is a move, right? But before, like, if you're going to piece out on something, be prepared, right? That's that sober piece. Like, be sober about it. Like, really eyes wide open moment. Yeah. So, it doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, my job's not a match for me, so I'm going to fucking quit. But it does mean that, okay, this isn't a match for me right now. I'm going to bring awareness to how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And I'm going to notice whether I'm like pretending to be the victim. I mean, I know it doesn't feel like pretending in a moment that's heated, but what I mean by that is like, you're not the victim, you're the game maker. So wake up and remember that, okay? And take those moments to go like, oh, this feels like shit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, or I'm gonna walk to my car, or I'm gonna like go get a breath of fresh air or a glass of water or whatever. Just take yourself out of the scenario, even if it's just for a moment, and remember that no one else is responsible for how you think and feel. It's really up to you and how you run your scene. Okay. So, whether it's a conversation or that you're around or involved in, walk a fucking way. Peace out, homie. And I'll be back in 5, right? And then, when you're doing your peace out for like 5, think of like 3 different topics, or maybe just one. Like if you can come up with 3 different topics that you can come back to the table with and bring those up. And even say, like, hey, dude, like, that shit's boring. Let's talk about this. Or that like really has nothing to do with us. Let's talk about this. Or this, the way this conversation is directed doesn't feel like healthy. Like I'm not really enjoying it. So why don't we talk about it from this standpoint instead? So see if you can, get yourself into a pivot where you're walking down and directing others maybe with you. And what I mean by directing, it's not asking them or making them do something, it's leading by example. All right, I hope that's clear. I might have said a little wonky, but I think that you know what I'm saying. Okay, so the third statement that I love to work with is, you and you alone are responsible for how you think and feel. You and you alone are responsible for how you think and how you feel. And I could bring up the school system here in the States and in many other places as well, where I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I say this quote often, which is, not every school, but a lot of schools and systems teach people what to think instead of how to think. And I'm interested in myself and my daughter and you learning how to think, not what to think. How does your mind work? What lights you up? What's your own unique zone of genius? And then follow that. Okay. Now, let's say you've lived a life where shit's hit the fan. Maybe you've experienced some stuff that's still kind of sticking. We all have. Welcome to life. Those challenges are literally there for us to develop a deeper, healthier relationship with ourselves, right? So let's say we get treated like shit. We either stand up for ourselves and say the buck stops here. Oh my God, yes, I love me. Or we go like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna let that slide and have people walk all over me and ask for that to happen again because I'm not standing up for myself. And by not standing up for myself, I ask for that shit to happen again on repeat. Okay, so we gotta break the cycle somehow. So I get that statement is kind of tricky when we're working with, I'm the only one that's responsible for how I think and feel. But it's very, very true. And it's one of the reasons why I specialize in emotional health the way that I do. Systematic emotional expression technique is the jam. And I always pair it with Kundalini yogic science. It is just chef's kiss, match made in heaven. I've seen it turn around many, 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 many lives in my years of practice, including my own life. Okay. So, it's my invitation to you to start to bring more awareness around outsourcing your experience, outsourcing your power, outsourcing your worth. How often are you leaning outside and looking outside of yourself to validate you, or to point the finger in blame? It's all us. It's all us. I am responsible for my life experience. Now, here's the thing. That's fucking power. I know that responsibility is kind of, I get it. It's one of my own personal things that I work on too. Like, wait, I'm responsible for this? Like, what? Who signed me up for that? But it's so empowering because once you can kind of like get past the ick of like responsibility and accountability, holy shit, the power that you can bring to the table in your life experience is next level. Then you're really kind of like playing with like the magical clay of life force energy. Like, oh my gosh, I can command my life experience. Maybe not to the minute detail, but we don't want that. That's part of the surprise and the delight of being alive in this time. But the direction on which, what the direction in what path, right? What timeline we're hopping, okay? You have command. And when you have tools like this, even though we're just kind of going over the very simple beginner steps of this, which is a perfect place to be, especially if this is kind of the first time you're ever hearing this stuff, perfect place to be. And for me, I've been doing this for a very long time, and it's still a perfect place for me to revisit these kind of like 1, 2, 3s of this work, because I will still catch myself sometimes pretending to be the victim of my circumstance, hoping for someone in my life to change in order for me to feel XYZ, or whatever the case is. All right. So it's a reminder for all of us. This is wonderful practice for all of us, regardless of whatever stage in development we are when it comes to our own relationship with self, relationship with spirit, with God, whatever, wherever you point this thing, right? All of this is meant to bring you closer to you in a fucking empowered way so you can live your best life with integrity. Yeah, with eyes wide open, with like, oh, okay, maybe if I do this shit now, my deathbed experience won't be as regretful. And then maybe my past life review will lead to my future incarnation being like way more utopian. But we don't know. I mean, that's just fun. But that's what the stuff that I like to talk about, with myself and with clients. It's like, let's put the pressure on. Let's maximize this life experience. All right. So, quick review. Statement 1. How other people think and feel is not your responsibility, and quite honestly, it's not your fucking business. All right, statement 2 is how you think and feel is no one else's responsibility, and quite frankly, not their business either. And statement 3, you and you alone are responsible for how you think and feel. All right, I hope this planted some seeds. That's what she said. Let me get a cheers moment, y'all. B squad. Hey. All right, sending you all so much love. I fucking believe in you. I'm here rooting for you. Pop it in the comments how this is landing. I hope it's landing well. And if you have questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you all soon. Mwah.